from My Dreaming Soap. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for dropping by. Now, today I'm making a soap that hopefully will look like a book, and I'm doing this just really as an idea around National Book Day. So what I've got here, first of all, is just some brown soap dough. Now, this is chestnut brown, and I get my chestnut brown from Pure Rock Colours. Now, this is going to be the cover of my book. So all I'm going to do, first of all, is just roll it out, because I want it to go all the way along the base of my mould. So that's my first job, to just get this rolled out. Nothing technical, just rolling it with a nice clean rolling pin. So that's all rolled out. Let's get this cut nice and straight then. Okay, and all I'm using here, this is just the lid of the mould. So just working as a nice straight edge. So this will be my soap. I'm just going to give it a quick test. Make sure it looks right. Okay, it may be a tiny bit too wide. So I'm going to take off a very thin slither. Okay, that looks like it's going to be perfect. Good. Now, for our book, it would typically have sort of a spine along the back of it. So then I'm going to just use this bit of soap dough that I've got here. So let's just re-roll this. Okay, so I'm just going to trim this down again. Now, just a little bit of distilled water just to make sure these two stick nicely together. And then I'm just going to sort of smooth down the edge of this spine so it's not just a abrupt square shape. So there's my book cover. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh this, because this needs to be factored into the soap that I'm making. I know how much soap I want to make these books for how thick I want them, but obviously as this soap dough is part of that, it needs to be taken off the soap that I'm going to make up. So I'm just going to weigh this. Let's go over together, shall we, how I'm going to calculate the soap that I need for this. Now, these soaps are going to not be upright in the barn. I'm not slicing them that way. They're going to be horizontal. So I'm not actually going to get that many soaps. I'm going to get about 6, and they're going to be made horizontally. My mould is 45.6 centimetres long times 9 centimetres wide. And I'm going to make my soaps in total 3 centimetres thick. So if I multiply all that lot out, that tells me the total soap weight, the total volume I'm going to be using in there is 1,231 grams of total soap. But we know we don't make our soap up by this amount, do we? So I'm going to have to change this into oils so I know how much soap to mix up. The first thing I need to do is, this is my total volume. I'm already going to put my book cover in there, and that's already ready made up soap. So if I take off my book cover, that's 251 grams coming off. I can see that now for the rest of my soap, in total, it will be 980 grams. So what I want to do with that is turn that into how much oil I need. Now for my recipe, and each recipe will be different, but this is a reasonably good amount. 980 grams, if I times that by 0.7, that takes me down approximately to the amount of oils in my soap. It's something like 69.4 or something, but that'll work. So times that by 0.7. I know that to complete my soap, I need another 686 grams of oils. And this is one of the reasons why it's really nice working in grams, because when you're dealing with volumes and that sort of thing, it's so much easier to deal with grams than pounds and ounces, and you have to do that multiplied by 0.4 sort of thing when you're dealing with the pounds and ounces, and that doesn't really take account of your recipe. So that for me is the amount of oil I'm going to need to make basically my pages. Now I am going to add in some other embeds. I'm using up some other embeds. So this will make my soap a little bit bigger, but that's fine. I just want to get these used up. These are embeds that fit within the assessment I've got, so I've got all the right colours in. Because what I want to do with this book soap is, I'm having it as basically like an open book. And I'm going to do some writing on the top. But what I want to do is, as we go through the book, I want to have some little pictures coming up. Now, I thought about doing some writing on several sort of like chapters all the way through. But the problem that we're going to have with the soap is, if you imagine the soap, it's going to have the cover on the back and then all the pages, which will look great when you start using it. But if you think about when someone starts washing with the soap, it's not going to wear out from the top to the bottom. It's going to wear out from one side to the other. So therefore it wouldn't work to have a story appearing through the soap sort of down, 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 because that's not how the soap's going to wear out. And the other thing to consider is, while it's okay to have writing on the very outside bit, again, if I wanted to do, let's imagine I wanted to do another bit of writing in there and another bit of writing towards the back. Bear in mind, again, the way the soap wears out, it's likely the back of the soap will start wearing out, so people won't see the writing from the top, they'll see the writing from the bottom, and then the writing will be backwards, so you'll have a soap with backwards writing. So what I'm going to do is writing on the top, but then I'm going to have little pictures on the inside, and it doesn't matter which way round those go. So just a little bit of planning there with the soap. Okay, so I've sliced up those little embeds. Those are going to be used for one of the lower down layers of the book. So let's put those to the side and we'll get our soap mixed up. For the top layer of this soap, I want it sort of curved, but shaped like how you would see an open book. So I'm just going to make myself a very simple scraper. Now obviously I could 3D print some scrapers, but this is probably something I'm just going to use once. So I've just got some cardboard. It's nice and clean. And I'm just measuring that to the width of my mould. Right, let's just check that's going to go in. Okay, that seems fine. And then all I'm just going to do is just do some slight curves on that. So let's measure halfway through. Just do a gentle curve like you would have if you got an open book. I don't want to make them too big because I don't want to scrape off too much soap. I think something like that would be good. So let's just cut that out. Okay, So there's our little scraper. Now if you wanted a scraper, this is probably just going to last for one soap. If you wanted a scraper that's going to last longer, you might want to cover that with some sticky tape or something, or make out of like little cutting mats or something for those. Let's make up the only layer really of soap. So the first thing I'm going to do is add some TD to my oils, just because I want them to be the pages, so I just want them to all be one colour. And then my lye solution and sodium lactate. And then let's just get this blended up. Okay, I think that's going to do for now, just sort of a good mix there. Okay, so let's put our book cover into our mould. Okay, so there's our cover. Obviously I'm going to put it in this way up. So that spine of the book is on the outside. Okay, pretty happy with that. That's a nice tight fit in there. And what I want to do is sort of 3 layers. So I can have some interest as you go through using up the soap. So I'm going to divide this soap up. So I've got pretty well 1 litre there. Okay, so there's a third of that. And to that I'm going to add my fragrance oil. Now the fragrance I'm using is called Glory. And Glory comes from Oasis Oils in the UK. And it's it's not really a very floral fragrance. It's almost a unisex fragrance. It's sort of got top notes of citrus and bergamot, so sort of citrusy, and then middle notes of rose, violet, jasmine and lily, and then some base notes of sandalwood and musk. Okay, so that's that. So let's just get that in there. Now I do want this to set up reasonably quickly. I think, let's have a look at it at the moment. Actually that is getting quite thick already. I might just pour it. I was going to warm it. I don't think I'm going to need to. So I gave it quite a good blend. So let's get it in here. Now I'm going to do this first layer flat. I'm not going to scrape it. Remember the scraper that we made? And I know you might think, well, each level of the book would be shaped, but think about how we use a soap. If you use a soap, the top bit, great, but as you get through the middle, you use a soap and it's flat as you use it. So therefore, if I shaped the inside bits and put the embeds over the shaped bits, as the person uses the soap, the picture's not all going to appear at the same time. They're going to wear through the higher bits first before the lower bits. So therefore, for this soap, I'm just going to add in my embeds in a straight layer. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to pop in is my little hearts. Now I know putting the hearts in, it's not really part of a story, and I must admit I did try and think of how to do a story through it, but without being able to put any words in the back or anything, it was just going to prove too difficult. So therefore I'm just putting some interest in the soaps as we go through. I think I might just sprinkle these and then turn them over. That'll be a bit quicker. happy with that. And that's pretty well set up, so I can get on with that next layer. So let's get these cute little embeds in. Now what I've done with these, oh that's really bright, let's try and get some of this light corrected. What I've done with these is I've just put some activated charcoal around the edges, because otherwise, can you see, I would have had a little white gnome against a white background. So I obviously wanted to hopefully get them to stand out a bit. So I'm just going to drop these little embeds in. Okay, so there's that. So that's obviously the middle bit. So this will only be revealed when the soap's actually being used, the same as that bottom layer with the hearts on. So I'm just going to leave that to set up a little bit, and then we're going to go through and scrape that with that homemade scraper that we made. I'm now just going to start scraping this. It is still quite fluid, but I want to make sure I can just get the sort of book shape moved around into the right area. So I'm not trying to scrape anything out, I'm just trying to move the soap around. Okay, so there's that scraped through. It's not completely flat on the top, but that's fine because I'm going to do something else to the top anyway, and I can smooth any lumps and bumps out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that overnight, and then we'll cut it into the little books tomorrow. Here we are with our book soap the next day. So I'm going to cut it into its individual little books first of all. So I've just done some markings where I want to cut it. Look how cute they are. Bit of a chunky novel there, quite a thick book. Okay, and then what I want to do to make them look a bit more book-like is on the sides, I am just going to do some lines. Now, am I going to be able to do these freehand, or do I need a ruler? And then I'm going to do the same sort of thing going into the middle of the book. I'm going to have to do these freehand. I think it's going to be fine. How funny is that? Right, let's do the other end. So let's put this little bit of the spine in. Okay. I really like that. Oh, I'm really pleased with that. Right, so I've got a couple more things I want to do.
Give me love, give me all your love, oh, 'cause I want you.
Okay, Okay, so I'm going to leave that one as it is, and what will happen is, as that dries out overnight, I'll be able to refine that a bit more. So I'm not going to do the rest of them on screen because it'll just take me ages, but I'm really happy with that how it is. So I'm just going to leave these now overnight. I'm going to finish the other ones, and then we'll come back and fill in that text.
Give me love, give me all your love, give me all your love. Give me love, give me all your love, give me all your love.
Here's a final photo of the soap. I'm really pleased with these, and I think it would be great as you use through the soap that the little pictures get revealed. I hope you've enjoyed this video and you like the soap. If you have, it would be great if you gave me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see what I'm making in the future, why not subscribe to my channel? Thanks for watching, everyone. Happy soaping!